G'day, welcome to Board Game Backers, brought to you by Liberty Guild Gaming. Today we're doing a playthrough of Apothebakery, brought to you by Lupo Game. So we've already set up for a solo game where we're up against corruption as they pollute the landscape and poison our adventurers. So, this is the first round. So we've set the clock to noon. I draw up my first 3 flurry cards. I look at the heroes and see what they need in order for healing. We've got some water, got some leaf, and a rainbow. Out in the station over here, we don't have any water, or so my best bet, if I can, is to go for a leaf if I can. Otherwise, I can do some transmuting and some potency stuff, which I will show you very later. So first off the bat, since I only really need that card over here, I'm going to go play fairly low at this stage and go with a 3. Corruption deck turns his card, and he has a lower stamina value than I do, so he goes first. Judging by the floor here, he removes the second card on the left. So he's already poisoned that part of the wilderness, and his next effect will be later in terms of roll and die to determine which of the adventures will pass. I will collect the leaf resource, and it will give me 1 elixir unless I increase its potency. I discard the flurry from my hand, and the 2 unused ones return to the top of the deck. And now we move on to the alchemy phase. The solo does not actually play part in this. So with my 1 leaf token, I am going to increase its potency by 1 over here, and it will cost me 1 mana for the first time using the ability. And if I use a secondary station, it will cost me 2 mana. I can only use 2 maximum abilities in my alchemy station at any time. I grab the leaf bag over here, and I get to grab 2 leaves from in here, keeping in mind there is 8 pure elixirs, 2 impure elixirs, and 1 bowed token. In my case, I was very fortunate that I got 2 pure elixirs, which then give me options to... I could either go for the rainbow or the Christorgian. Over here, I'm going to go for this gentleman over here. Could he use near death? And hopefully, the corruption does not actually kill the kill that adventure before I get a chance to heal him. This card gets discarded. I roll the side effect die, and it's the number that matters here. You got 1, 2, or a 3. If you draw as a blank, nothing happens. Gets a scale, no one dies. However, he will get a spiral token. So let's roll the dice. Turns out, unfortunately for Argentus over here, he perishes. So he gets 4 points plus 1 point over here. So he gets -5. There we go. And let's just, sorry, there's no confusion over here. Let's make that blank. Over here, he collects both the reputation and the potions, and also the diagnosis card for in-game objectives. Let's return back to the pool. And he gets 1 spiral token for defeating him, killing him. There we go. I, however, will use my 2 green elixirs over here to heal this adventurer, returning those elixirs back to the bag, gaining 3 plus 3, which gives me 6 points. I keep the cake and the elixirs, return a heart to the supply, and I get 1 spell for rescue for healing him as a gift. I have a health stasis card, which allows me to select an adventurer from the pool and put him in a stasis to the left of my board. So I won't use that just yet. If we're playing a multiplayer game, you would flip it over here, because you don't want people to know what kind of spells that you have. So you can only ever keep 1 at a time. There we go, and we return this adventure back to the deck. There we go, keeping in mind that I do have 3 objectives over here. 1 is to bake a white cake, leaving any plant resource cards in my hand, and finishing with unused mana on the board over here, which we draw randomly at the start of the game, and you have 1 opportunity to replace the cards. There we go. Now that we're at the end of the round, we advance to heart token, heart up 1. Unfortunately for Willow here, she is still dying from her Raptured Sinew. And now she's down to only 1 heart value. Replenish with new adventurers coming to Apothebakery. Fresh diagnosis cards. And replenishing the Wilderness. This last card on the far left will get discarded. And these will slide to the left. And new resources will come out into the Wilderness. Now we're back to the start of the first phase. That's the first round done. So let's see how we go. So I've got draw 3 cards, 2 of which was from my previous hand. And I'll look at my adventurers here, which unfortunately do not have their hearts just yet. So we've got 3 and 2. So these heart values are determined by here. And this one has 3. So it is in my best interest to heal Willow over here, otherwise I shall be responsible for her vengeance. And that one requires 2 blue icons. We don't see any 2 blue icons into the Wilderness. And keep in mind, we do refresh our station at the end of the round. We do not refresh our mana, however. So I am going to go for at most 3, because that will cost me nothing. So I'm going to go with 2 if I've got it. Yes, I do. And I'll place it here. So I'm playing 2. We'll see how the corruption goes. Corruption plays 7. So that means I'm the first in player order. So let's grab that first player token over here and place it over here into this corner. This 2 gets discarded. However, these 2 return to the top of my deck. I will get this one because it doesn't cost me anything. As when you're using a fairy that matches the rock, you're matching your resource, it's -1. So I receive this one for free, and I'll spend my other 2 summoner for the insect. Now it is the solo variant's turn, and he discards the 3rd and 5th card from the Wilderness. Now I'll move to the alchemy phase of the game, and considering I'm after wanting to heal this one over here, I'm going to transmute this one. And good news is, it's already got a potency of 2. So I'm going to transmute it. So it's now no longer insect, it is a water resource. And I don't have to increase its potency, considering I only need 2. However, I do not want to risk it. If I happen to get an impure elixir, you know what? We'll play it out. So there we go. We'll keep this one for now. Grab 2 from here. Hopefully we do not get a failed token. And what do we have? We have an impure elixir and a water elixir. And then I'm also going to go for 3 rocks elixir. I'm going to use that now. And no, I'm actually going to keep this because I might want to use its stamina value for when I go foraging into the resource. Considering the first one in the player order, I will use these 2 elixirs to heal her. However, because I'm using an impure elixir over here, I have to roll the side effect die and see if it either weakens him, makes him stronger, nothing happens, or he dies. Let's just play this out. It's a -1, so I've made him a little bit weaker, so it's a -1 on the reputation points. So that's 3. 3 is 6, -1 gives me 5. These 2 here return back into the bag. And I get 5 reputation points for healing him. Yeah, remove that, and I keep both of these 2 over here. And I get 1 spell card from over here, which is to swap any unwanted objective cards with a new one. This is actually quite handy for later in the game, that is. However, I'm going to use this one here and get somebody out of stasis, which I'm going to go and grab this one over here. So this one here is I'm going to use this spell here and cast it, put her into stasis. And that way I have got another spell that I can put there, just in case. So I'm going to remove her, put her next to my board over here, give her 2 heart values. She's now currently in stasis. However, if I don't heal her at the end of the game, I will reap her vengeance as she will die at the end of the game. This one, however, returns back to the bottom of the deck. Now it is Corruption's turn. If he rolls a 1 or a 3, nothing happens. He rolls a 2. Of course he does. So, 5 plus 8 points, which makes it to 11. 13. So he is now negative 13. Keeps those for the end of the game. These ones get returned. And there we have it. As the end of this round, let's bring the sun up to the noon. We're now halfway through, almost. Replenish the board, slide these down in a conveyor-like fashion, and refill the heroes, the adventurers. Give them each a diagnosis card, each. And 3 cure cards at the base. And he gets 3 hearts to start off. He starts off with 1, and little Vesperia over here gets 2. So we draw up our 3 fairy cards from and look at bidding. So I've got what total here of 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. And I am looking at, I like to heal her if I possibly can. So it will cost, unfortunately, I don't have any of these resources at all. So let's have a look over here. Do we have any water? Yes, we do. Do we have any leaves? No, we don't. And we don't have any blueberries out there either. So that is, yeah, problematic to say the least. So, you know, and, okay, we're gonna try it. We are. I've got a plan. I'm going to see how it plays out. So I'm going to get the 1 card that I can get, which is a 3. Here, and we see how it goes with Mr. Corruption over here. What does he do? Of course, he gets a 2. So he gets first in player order. He does. So I'm now the second player. So let's remove that from over here. And good news is, though, he only removes the insect from the wilderness. And however, I used my 3, so that gets discarded. And I return these back to the deck. And I get this 1 resource that I was after. So let's flip it over. It's a, oh no, sorry. Did I say 3? Oh, I went to that water. Yikes. I wasn't paying attention, was I? Oh, a goodie. Sorry. Yes. 3. There we go. Otherwise that would cost me 2. So here we are. Here's our water. Over here, we move on to the alchemy phase of the game, and I am going to transmute this one into a, I'm going to go with leaf for this one. Actually, I'm going to go insect. No, yes, blueberries, leaf, yeah, don't really matter which. The mass is still the same at this stage, so let's grab 3. Excellent, they're all pure, nice. That will be very, very handy for me. There we go, we discard that resource over here. And I will get 2 raindrops, 2 water from over here. This will help me plan my strategy and what I'm going to do. And I've got 2 pure ones, which is fantastic. And I am going to make one of them a rainbow. There we go. I'll grab these 2 elixirs over here. I will actually use the raindrop because we've got a leaf over here. So using these 2 over here and returning these back to the bag in order to make a rainbow. I will then now in a position to heal this adventurer. However, I'm not the first in player order, am I? It is the corruption. I'm just returning these elixirs back into the bag. And hopefully he doesn't pick the one I've been trying to heal, which is this one here. We roll the dice, we'll have a look. It's a blank, nothing happens. I get to heal my adventurer using my rainbow, which I'll use as my blueberry, my green elixir, and my water. So, thank you. I'll return these back to the bag. And I receive 7 points plus 8, 9, 10 points. That brings me to lovely 21. I'll keep these over here and return that heart to the supply and get myself 1 spell card, which is add or subtract a health. You know what? I like this. I'm going to replace my unwarranted one. Because I grabbed it from my alchemy station, this, however, does get discarded and does not return back to the spell deck. There we go. I've used this resource, so discard that one. Everyone loses 1 health for the next round. We advance the sun token. We discard the mana and slide these down into a conveyor-like fashion. Replenish the heroes, the adventurers. And here we got Ice and the Wise. He's suffering from paralyzed limbs and only has 1 heart. So this is going to get rather tricky, considering 2 of which are likely to die. I've also got to be mindful, I do have 1 in stasis, so I've got to make sure I've got stuff for it. Cool, so I draw up my 3 cards. There we go. Good news is I do have 1 to heal him already, which is great. And so I may want to go for some insects if I can. Insects is all the way up to here. Remembering that we do refresh our alchemy station at the end of the round. So let's flip these 2 over here. And I believe I forgot to use pay for one of my manas. So I am going to go for this insect over here. However, I could transmute, so no biggie there. So I am going to go with a 2. I'll return these back to the top of the deck. And he flips 1 over, and he's a 3. So I am first in player order, so which is fantastic. So we can replace this 2 token over here and put a 1. I will use this fairy over here. This one will cost me nothing, as it's -1, and it means it's 0, and I get these extra 2 manas over here. I discard my fairy over here, flip it over, and I get to start off with these 2 cards here. And Mal Corruption has removed the 3rd card from the left and has discarded it. Moving on to our alchemy station, I'm immediately going to reward myself this 2 mana. So I can remove that, and I am going to transmute and increase its potency. So transmute, so it's now an insect, increase its potency by 1. So remember, I've got to pay for this, that's 1, and its potency means 2 more. And I draw 2 cards, 2 elixirs from the insect bag. So let's see how we go. Let's grab 2 and we pull it out, and what do we have? We've got 2 pures, which is fantastic. Very good. And moving on to the healing the adventure phase, since I'm the first in player order, I've now got options. So, unfortunately, buddy, you don't give me as many points as this one does. So I get 3 plus 3, which is 6 points. So I will use these 2 here. However, it's nice to have options, because I can always trade that into a rainbow. So I will actually heal this one over here and put a water in here. Because it's, you know, if I don't get a chance, I can always turn that into a rainbow later. So I've healed this guy, that's 2 points, plus 3, give me 4 points. So that would now make me 25. Return the heart back to supply. Keep these, and I get 2 spells. Ooh, he would have been great, he would have given me 3. So let's go with 2 spells. I have, on your next foraging round, pick up 4 fairy cards into your hand, rather than, that would be great in the final round, and increase your mana by 2. And considering one of my objectives is to get mana, I am going to do that. So I am going to ignore this one, and discard it, and put this one in here. However, I do like this card, so I'm going to put this on the top, because in the last round, that would be very handy for me. So I've healed him. He goes back over here. the corruption rolls his die to see if he kills anybody. He kills Sir Ragnar. So this goes away. He gets 5. He had 2 hearts, that's 7 points. So that makes him 20. 20 points. He also gets a spiral token for his trouble. And he's killed 3 adventurers, so he needs another spiral token. There we go. Unfortunately for Vespera over here, she doesn't make it. So she loses her heart token. And Corruption gets another soul. However, he doesn't get these ones over here. They get discarded. And we shall seek his vengeance. So he gets another spiral token as well. And over here, in the next foraging phase, resources cost +1 stamina. So I'm just going to keep that down here as a reminder that it is +1 stamina. It will cost me. Now we move the sun up to the evening, replenish the wilderness in a conveyor-like fashion. Replenish the heroes. Adventurers, eventually I'll get that right. Give them their diagnosis. Sir Wayland's suffering from the blood curse. Margus has got the crippling fear, and Celestia, which we killed off earlier, just been, I'm sure of, has got the hollowed soul. So let's give out some cure cards over here. There we go, and some heart tokens. So we have 2 and 3. Over here we have 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, and 3 over here. There we go. I'm going to use this right off the bat and increase my mana by 2. Draw my 3 cards. And I have, what am I after? I've got two insects, so I can heal him. And I could potentially heal this one over here. Oh, this one's, I've got options. This is fantastic. So I'm going to go for a leaf and a rock if I can. Of course, there is no rocks out in the wilderness, so we'll have to do some transmuting. So I do need to refresh my potency board over here. So I'm just going to go for these 2 over here. I will. And so that will be a total of 3. So I'm going to use these 2 cards here. Return that back to the deck. Corruption pulls a card. He's got a massive stamina of 9. So I remain the first player. And I will get these cards over here. And he, however, gets rid of that resource and also the ending resource over here. There we go. It's quite harsh. Oh, and keep in mind that every mana resource costed 1 extra. So I will lose that extra fairy that I was saving for later. That means I got 4, 5, 6, 7. And these would have cost me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, and he put a stamina of 9. So I'm still first player in order. And now I will get rid of this card since I've already acted on its vengeance. And I'm trying to go for this one over here. So I've already got an insect. So I'm going to pull 2 green ones out of the bag. Let's see how we go. How's our luck doing today? And we got 2 pures. Nice. I think that worked out really well. And I am going to transmute... so that is gone. And I'm going to transmute this one. It is now a rock. And you know what? I'm going to increase its potency as well, just to be on the safe side, since we do have other rocks down here. So that, and that will cost me 2 more. There we go. So I'm going to grab 2 of the rock bag. Also, just want to make sure if I happen to get any pure, I only need 1 rock. Let's see how we go. We've got an impure and a rock. There we go, and my alchemy station is full up. Now we're moving on to the healing phase, and I am going to heal this gentleman right here. And I'm not going to chance it with impure elixir, because I'm already getting plenty of points. And a green one, so each of these return back to its bag. They do, so let's return the black one, and the green one, and the insect one back into the bag. I get 7 points, plus 2 more makes 9. So that puts me at 34 points. I'll keep these. Over here, I get 2 spells from over here. Let's see how we go. We have cleanse another player's inventory. When you're playing solo, you do remove this card from the decks and also their helping hand. So I will draw another one. Alchemy Master, which is use an alchemy ability twice for 1 mana cost. Oh, I do like that. Extra furry, draw 4 furries. I think I might do that. Yes, I will definitely do that. And lose that one. And that's mostly because I've got a hero over here still sitting in stasis. So there we go. Remove that one over here. Corruption gets a turn, and he doesn't actually kill anybody. However, each one of these adventurers will lose a heart token. Let's replenish the wilderness board in a conveyor-like fashion. Say it with me, conveyor-like fashion. Replenish the adventurer, give it a diagnosis and a cure card, and it has 2 hearts to start with. So excellent. There we go. We draw 3. I get to draw 4 cards into my hand, and you know what I'm going to do? I am just going to go and play all 4 of them. What do I got? I got 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards, and I need at least a raindrop, which isn't there. So, and I've got a rock, so I need a raindrop, which there's none there. And ideally, if I get a chance to, I wouldn't mind healing this gentleman over here. So, and that's 3 insects. So, I am going to go with, and any blueberries. We've got a blueberry. We have an insect. And that means I need to get another one to transmute later into, oh, we've got, and a blueberry. I do need that blueberry. That's 5, 6, 7, 8. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's using up all my stamina. Let's see how we go against Mr. Corruption over here. Ouch. Okay, so he's first in player order. So let's remove that now. And he also removes the first and third. Oh, I didn't even notice that. There's actually a blueberry right here. So, cool. No matter. I still got 8 stamina. So I will use this one here. It will give me 5. And 6, 7, because I can transmute if I need to. 5, 6, 7, and this will only cost me 2. So why not? 8, 9. There we go. There we go. And these are my resources. So now moving on to my alchemy phase. My first priority is getting this one in stasis. So I do have a rock. I do need some raindrops. However, which one of these have the highest? Ooh. So this is going to be a little bit on the tricky side. So I am going to with the blueberry here, I'm going to increase it. Good news is increase its potency by 1. And increase potency by 1, and I'm going for the blueberry. So alright, and this gives me a pure elixir. There we go. I wasn't actually paying attention. Was I? I needed that blue. I needed a in that case, I increased its potency, didn't I? Yes. And I need a raindrop. So I am going to transmute the insect into a raindrop. Excellent. So I'm in a position now to actually heal. I've got a variety of people that I can potentially heal. So let's see how we go. First of all, corruption rolls first since it's first play order. It's a -2, so it takes out this one here. So it's 4, 5, 6, 7. So that one is actually now -7. And gets herself a spiral token. I am going to heal this adventurer down here, which will cost me a rock, a water, and an insect. And so I've got to roll the side effect die. I'm using an impure elixir. Let's see how we go. Oh, no. I killed him. Yikes. So I get neither of these. Don't get the points, and I get its vengeance. So, podcast, you're right, most elixir passes to the player on the right. So, I've even lost my leaf, which now goes to him. That was rather unfortunate. And I'm not in any position at all to heal anybody else out in the field. So, now that we go into the last part of the round. Oh, wow. So good. Cool. These all perish. Oh, yes. He also gets a spiral token for his trouble, for me murdering him. And these all go away. Not yet. Actually, he still hasn't had his chance to roll yet. No, he did. He killed this one here. And all these others happen to die at the end of the round. And let's flip these over. He gets another 2 spiral tokens for his trouble. Extra one for that one. Burn and disable the transmute alchemy station. The ghost lingers among the waiting adventurers, and the first healed experiences side effects. So, those two don't affect me any further. Moving into the end game phase. I did use that one already. I've got a total of 34 points. My objectives over here. 3 white cakes. Did I actually, get 3 white cakes? Did I? I have 1 rainbow cake, which is 1 white. No, I did not. Any spare plant resources? Now I've only got a rock one. Any unused mana? I have 6. So that brings me to 40. And now we're looking at see who made the most across the board over here. So these are my ones over here. And over here, we don't have to worry too much about the cake ones. However, we do need the virals. And we'll see how he compares to myself. So here we go. Just putting it all out there. And looking at this here, this is our player aid for phases over here. And what I'm looking for is the scoring card, which is just over here. So we've done our objectives. We're going up to the Master Alchemy. Get negative points for any failed tokens, which I don't have. Negative ones for any spiral tokens. And +4, which I have none. So let's see who's got the most green, shall we? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. He's got 1, 2, 3. So I get him on that one. So that's 2 points for me. And moving on to water, I've got 4. He's got 1. So that's another 2 points for me. Moving on to the insects, I've got 1. He's got 3. So negative 2 points for him. Rocks, I have only 1. He has none. So I get 2 points for that one. However, he does There we go. Cool. And blueberries. I've got 1. He's got 2. So he gets another 2 points there. That makes him negative 31 points. Over here. Now we'll move over to his spiral tokens over here. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And in the instruction booklet, it lets you know what that means. So we go to the scoring chart over here. He has 10, which gives him another 6 points over here. So another 6 points makes him 37. So he's at negative 37. However, I'm at 46. So I have beaten corruption in the wilderness and in our area. So congratulations to us. No worries. Thank you very much. I hope you found this playthrough helpful. Any rules, gooses, just let me know in the comments. And thank you so very much. And I'll talk to you guys all real soon.